On the publication of the final report into the tragic loss of FZ981, we are summarizing the results of the final report. The purpose of the report is to identify possible causal factors that can lead to the improvement of air safety. Its role is not to apportion blame. We have proactively supported the investigator in charge, providing comprehensive access to the information they requested. This included the results from our internal investigation in conjunction with expert independent scientific analysis. We share the same desire as the Interstate Aviation Committee to identify the learnings that can enhance safety in the industry. We acknowledge the recommendations in the final report. We have proactively taken action ahead of its publication to implement those that are within our scope. We have taken our obligations seriously and have implemented additional actions above and beyond those identified in the final report. The report concludes: the fatal air accident to the Boeing 737 aircraft occurred during the second go-around due to an incorrect aircraft configuration, crew piloting, and the subsequent loss of fixed situational awareness in nighttime in IMC. This resulted in a loss of control of the aircraft and its impact with the ground. It is important to remember that this was a complex investigation spanning over 3 years. For learnings to be derived, it is crucial to understand the sequence of events that led to the conclusion in the report. The industry recognizes the importance of the interplay between the crew, the aircraft, and the environment. This is known as human factors. The interactions between these components are purposely designed, implemented, and measured through regulation, processes, and procedures. These form the necessary checks and balances to protect an aircraft and its crews from being compromised by the failure of any single element. In the event of an accident, the checks and balances designed to protect the system have failed. This is why it is vital to analyze the underlying contributory factors in the complex chain of events. We will now look at the set of circumstances that led to the tragic loss of FZ981. The weather at Rostov-on-Don was turbulent, and with the presence of moderate to strong wind shear. It was within the permitted limits for the airport to remain open. The presence of wind shear resulted in 2 go-arounds. During the second go-around, the final report concludes that the captain's mindset was focused on landing. This is an unconscious cognitive bias to continue with an original plan in spite of changing conditions. This behavior is understood in human factors. When prompted by the first officer, the captain immediately called a go-around and applied maximum thrust. This was the associated application of power for a wind shear escape maneuver. The first officer called and the captain acknowledged for the flaps to be set to 15 degrees and subsequently the gear was raised. There was confusion between the pilots on the type of go-around being flown, arising from the ambiguity in the callouts in the manufacturer's operations manuals. The crew were fully rested and met flight duty limitations when the aircraft departed. It is possible that they were experiencing operational tiredness at the time of the second go-around, which was conducted under intense workload and in a turbulent weather. The confusion around the type of go-around being flown, discussed in the report as uncoordinated actions, left the aircraft configured in a high thrust-to-weight ratio, creating a significant pitch-up attitude. The captain was unable to maintain the desired pitch angle due to the pitch-up forces of the aircraft and the turbulent flight conditions. In the later stages of the flight, the captain ran the stabilizer trim for 12 seconds. After 2 seconds, the aircraft experienced less than 1 G. It is thought that cinematographic illusion may have contributed to the captain continuing to press the trim switch. In fact, during the last 16 seconds of the flight, the captain was suffering from complete spatial disorientation. At this stage, the captain became incapacitated. What steps have we taken? At the time of the accident, flydubai had met, and in many cases, exceeded all regulatory requirements. We have taken a number of precautionary measures ahead of the report's publication, in conjunction with our regulator, satisfying all the recommendations in the final report that are within our scope. These measures included enhancements to procedures and manuals and additions to training that exceeded the regulatory requirement. The publication of the final report marks the end of the official investigation into FZ981, and for flydubai, we can begin to share the learnings and build a greater understanding of the role of human factors in this tragic accident. We will do all we can to contribute to the enhancement of air safety.